What an incredible sight. 300 passionate, community-minded champions, all here to celebrate the spirit of the MetroWest YMCA, the Boston Marathon, and the power of coming together. We're so grateful to have you with us for this special morning. And to keep us all on track, we have an incredible MC. You've seen him presenting sports segments on WCVB's SportsCenter 5, delivering game highlights, athlete interviews, and in-depth analysis of local and national sports events. Please give a warm welcome to our host for today, our good friend, Josh Brigadier. Come on up, Josh.
Good morning, everyone. It's so great to be here this morning and to see a lot of familiar faces. And I always love coming here to Framingham. And as I've told a few of you, this is my third year here doing this. And I used to be a Framingham guy. I taught at Walsh Middle School. It was my first job out of college, 3 years at Walsh Middle School in the two-way bilingual program. What did I do at night? I taught in the Framingham Adult ESL program. I eventually did a lot of great things in Framingham with Access Framingham, hosted a show called Novel Ideas with my friend Carol Locke. My Framingham roots run deep. I would be remiss if I did not point out my former student over there, Riyadh Shah. Do you mind standing up for everybody? This guy charged through 6th grade social studies and is now president of the chamber, from what we understand. Great to see you and be with all of you this morning. A couple quick stories before we get started on our program. One, I'm just coming back from Utah, and you may wonder what I'm doing in Utah. We, Channel 5, we're seeing about a couple of American hopefuls in the marathon. Their names are Connor Mance and Clayton Young. If you've never heard those names, 28, 31 years old, poised and ready to give it a shot and hope to win the marathon on April 21st. Another name to remember, Kira D'Amato. We saw her as well, and that was terrific. Why do I bring up Utah? Because after they flew, and I mean a 4:17 first training mile for Connor, as we were trying to follow them with our car and not on foot, I decided to do their route the next day. Hey, I can do what these guys do. Guess what I did not do? Time myself. I thought that would be a terrible idea and it wouldn't work. And as I said, this is my third year doing this, and I'm thrilled to be back with you. And one quick story from last year. You might see that I have this orange juice up with me right now. Well, last year I decided to leave it at my table right in front. That was great. But when I came back to my seat, none other than Zdeno Chara was drinking my orange juice. Now, there's a couple ways you might handle this. You might say, Zdeno, that's my orange juice. But nope, we dropped the gloves. That's it. If you don't remember, we threw down the gloves. 5'8" against 6'9", and that, by the way, is why Zdeno did not return this year. It's a true story. I want you all to know that. He wanted to come here, but he knew the orange juice, me, imposing figure, the whole bit. No, but in all seriousness, I'm thrilled to be with you, and we're going to get started announcing some very special people coming through the door this morning. So, without further ado, let's get going here. I am confident, by the way, that all of you have watched or participated in a marathon, and when you know how to cheer runners on, let's get some of that energy up this morning as I introduce some very special guests to get us started with the YMCA. The marathon team, who have been training since December, raising critical funds for the MetroWest Y. First, Chantal Balbin. Put your hands together for Gus Gorilskis and his son Jack Gorilskis. You can't forget Molly Foley, people, Molly Foley. How about Paul Maskis? Diego Puppin. Lynette Testa. And last but certainly not least, Christine Kavicki. Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to welcome a true champion for our communities, a leader dedicated to making a difference across MetroWest and beyond. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Senate President Karen Spilka is here. Next, we are honored to welcome a dedicated leader, strong advocate for the city of Framingham. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Mayor Charlie Sisitsky. Next, please welcome Ashland Town Manager Michael Herbert, a committed local leader and driving force for our new Regional Y. Now representing our legislative delegation, State Representatives David Linsky, Jack Lewis, Kate Donahue, Priscilla Souza, and James Arena de Rosa. Representing Senator Warren's office is Yeji Lee. Representing Senator Markey's office, Liam Horsman. Representing the MetroWest YMCA Board of Directors this morning, we have Board Chair Patricia Duarte. Board Vice Chair, Regina Marshall. Leadership Cabinet Chair, Vizzy Tilak. Board Member Usha Narayana. And Board Member Rick Robinson. Representing the BAA, Jack Fleming, President and CEO. Scott Stover, Chief Marketing Officer. And Nicole Jury, Director of Development. Joe Martino. Joe is an accomplished runner and former Y director from Western Mass who competed in the very first New York City Marathon and is the author of On the Run. And now, our past Inspiration Award honorees. Mike DiDonato, 2024 Inspiration Award honoree, representing the amazing accomplishments of Team Unstoppable. Good to see you again, Mike. Susan Hurley, 2023 Inspiration Award honoree, charity team's founder who has raised millions of dollars, inspiring thousands of runners. Jack Foltz, 2022 Inspiration Award honoree, winner of the 1976 Boston Marathon, referred to as the Run for the Hoses. As the temperature was 100 degrees, Jack still completed the marathon in a cool 2 hours and 20 minutes. A member of the Georgetown University Hall of Fame, Jack has trained thousands of marathon runners on Dana-Farber's marathon teams. Becca Peasy, 2019 Inspiration Award honoree. In 2016, Becca was the first American woman to complete the World Marathon Challenge, a series of 7 marathons on 7 continents, and yes, 7 consecutive days. Antarctica is one of those continents. Becca remembers it well. She has finished the Abbott World Majors, run a marathon in all 50 states, is an Ironman triathlete. Dave McGilvray, 2018 Inspiration Award honoree. He has completed 52 Boston Marathons. An inspiration to tens of thousands of people as a race director of the marathon, a philanthropist. Dave's completed the World Marathon Challenge and has run across America, not once, but twice, and 10 Kona Ironman triathlons. His last was just last year. All right, Rick and Dick Hoyt were the Y's inaugural 2017 Inspiration honorees. Team Hoyt is represented by President of the Hoyt Foundation, Russ Hoyt, and his amazing family, Rob, Troy, Lisa, Cam, and Amanda. The Hoyt's efforts advocating for people living with disabilities and encouraging the belief that, yes, you can, through their participation in numerous athletic events around the world, is truly inspiring. Their commitment to opening doors of opportunity for people with disabilities continues to inspire our Y to provide programs and services to children and families of all abilities. And now to this year's honorees. You're going to be hearing much about them this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a true legend in the house, a champion of the running community, the heartbeat behind the 26.2 Foundation, and a man who knows a thing or two about marathons. Please give a big Y welcome to the former Boston Marathon race director, Tim Kilduff. And now get ready to be inspired, carrying on the incredible legacy of Team Hoyt. This dynamic duo embodies determination, teamwork, and the power of inclusion. Let's give a huge Y welcome to Brendan Aylward and Jacob Wyman.
Good morning, everyone. And first off, I want to thank you for attending our very special gathering this morning. I know it's early, but I think we're all feeling the energy and the love already. So on behalf of the YMCA Board of Directors and the Y staff team, we're delighted to have each and every one of you here. Your presence underscores the incredible community that fuels the MetroWest YMCA.
Good morning. We need a little more energy in the room. So, good morning, everyone. Thank you. Our shared commitment to fostering a healthier, more connected community is at the heart of our mission. We're here today not only to celebrate the impact to the Y, but to thank you, our shared valued supporters, for being an integral part of our journey. Together, we're making a positive impact on countless lives through the various programs and initiatives championed by the Y.
So as we look to the future, your ongoing support and engagement are crucial. We are dedicated to expanding services to those in need, and with your support, we can build alliances, empower individuals, and provide meaningful, life-changing opportunities for all. The staff team is getting some inspiration for our annual campaign from the movie Wicked and its sequel, For Good. Don't be surprised if you see and hear references to defying gravity and how we are all truly better together. So speaking of being better together, we are fortunate to have amazing partners throughout this region, partners who are committed to supporting and strengthening our community. And it is my pleasure to introduce a true friend and champion of the Y of MetroWest, State Senate President Karen Spilka.
Good morning. You can still do better. Each one gets a little bit better. Good morning. Good morning. Much better, but I think you still need some more coffee. So thank you so much. It is a true honor to be here this morning. It is early. I have to. Full disclosure, I am not an early morning person, but I came here because I know how much the Y means to not only this entire region, but Ys across the state are so important for our children of all ages in their catchment areas and the roles that they play. So I'd like to acknowledge MetroWest YM CEO Rick McPherson, Patricia Duarte, and the entire board. Thank you so much for what you do. Peter Weisberger and Ashley Place for organizing such a fantastic event. It's not often you get this many people this early in the morning. Like to acknowledge my fellow legislators that are here. It's great to see them. And to give special recognition to municipal leaders who are with us this morning, Mayor Szycki, select board members, school committee members, city councilors, town managers, town administrators. And I think that's important to really emphasize the broad range of people that are involved and care about this Y, that they take the time to come here to support the Y, to herald it, and to do what they can to help. Could I ask just quickly all of our municipal leaders and officials to stand so we can give you a round of applause? And the state representatives too, you can't get off so easy. Thank you. I know how hard it is right now to keep your city, your town, the state, federal, that's a whole nother ballgame, going and balancing all of the competing interests. So you all deserve a big round of applause. The YMCA is the cornerstone of our MetroWest community. Their commitment to building connections and belonging is remarkable. I'm excited that the mission will only expand to the new Ashland YMCA facility on Memorial Drive. That, thankfully, not too far from my house. That's very exciting. That facility and the programming there will expand and create even more opportunities, more participation, more sense of community as people come together, grow, and thrive. The YMCA helps us build community and support the mental and physical health of people of all ages, and I can't say there has ever been a time when that is as important as it is now. So I'd like to also congratulate this year's Inspiration Award honorees. My friend Tim Kilduff, you deserve it so well. You've done so much for marathoning, a great ambassador. Not only in Hopkinton and the whole state, but across the globe, really. The connections that you have made as an ambassador for marathoning are amazing. Team Hoyt, Brendan Elwood, and Jacob Wyman, congratulations. Brendan and Jacob, you are an inspiration to all of us. Your work has expanded so many possibilities for countless residents, and I cannot wait to see the work you do and Team Hoyt does to help even broaden that more. You are truly continuing the legacy of Dick and Rick Hoyt. Thank you again for having me here today. I hope you all enjoy the rest of this program. It is very inspirational and exciting, and best of luck to the Y Marathon team and all of the runners for this year's marathon. Thank you.
State Senate President Spilka, thank you so much for all that you do. We greatly appreciate you and you being here with us today. As a young girl, the YMCA was a significant part of my life. I grew up in Western Massachusetts, where there's not always that much to do. And as a young teenager trying to find my way, I found the Leaders Club at the Y, where I truly found my voice, and it's always played a special part in my life. When I moved to Framingham and started my family, I was at a social event and I got the pleasure of meeting someone who had a similar experience at the Y in a totally other state, but said the same thing around creating their leadership skills and really feeling encouraged by the family and the connection that they had with their YMCA. And so I told that person, please, if there's ever an opportunity for me to join the board, please let me know. And almost 3 or 4 years later, I got the call, which I just was elated to get, to come and join the YMCA family as a member of the board. It's been 7 years, and I am so excited that I am in the place of being the incoming board chair. I have to thank Emmett for that, and it's with great pleasure that I get to introduce a message from Emmett. He unfortunately couldn't be here with us today, but it's my pleasure to share this message from the one and only Reverend Emmett G. Price III. Thank you.
Good morning. I hope that each of you are well. I regret that I can't be with you this morning, but I am here in video, and so I'm so excited to be with you this way. Listen, Patricia and Regina, congratulations on your leadership. Congratulations on all the phenomenal things that you've been doing. And Regina, who would have thought that we would have been here when you and I had a conversation so many years ago? I'm so proud of the work that you're doing, the legacy that you are leaving in the MetroWest. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to each of you, as a blessing, I'd like to share from the sacred experiences and postures from many faith traditions. It's a spirit and a posture of gratitude. And so rather than to try to lean into one area or another, I want to bring us all together because we're better together. So in the spirit of gratitude, let me thank Rick McPherson and the entire staff of the MetroWest YMCA. Regardless of what you do all the things that you do well. You make this region a better and safer and more hospitable place for everybody, regardless of generation, regardless of ethnicity, regardless of all the things that sometimes divide us. You are doing the amazing work, and I say thank you. To all of you who are here, thank you for taking so much time out of your schedule, out of your busy lives, to come together to be better. We need to be together in this season. There's so many things going on, and you know what they are. So I thank you for showing up and being in this place. To the honorees today, thank you for all that you have done, not just for the region and for the Commonwealth, but for the nation and literally for the world. Thank you for being powerful ambassadors of what it means to give of yourself on behalf of others. To these athletes who we are celebrating today, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're cheering you on. I mean, you all are in for it, and we are so excited for you. Thank you for volunteering to step up and do something powerful, not just for the MetroWest YMCA, but for the people who we represent. And thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Emmett has such a presence, by the way, whether he's in the room physically or not. Amazing. And he always seems to know what to say to make us realize what's important, and these good times and challenging times as well. This past January, we lost a member of our Y family, an inspirational young man. Many of us met Kyle last year at the breakfast where he was honored along with Mike DiDonato. And together they made up Team Unstoppable. You can see the chair over here to my side. And their remarkable accomplishments and relationship moved us all. For a special remembrance, please welcome Mike DiDonato and Russ Hoyt.
Before I introduce Mike, I just want to remind everybody that March is Women's History Month, and I want to honor all the women in the world and all the women in this room today. And I want to start off the pledges that I know are going to come in today, honoring all women with a pledge of $10,000 from the Hoyt Foundation to the YMCA this morning. I do have to shout out 3 women in particular this morning, my mom and 2 women named Lisa. My mother, Judy, was born on March 8th, which was actually International Women's Day, and I think there's nothing more appropriate than her birthday to be the day that all women get honored in specific. To the 2 Lisas, my wife, Lisa, I just want to say thank you. I love you. Everything that you've done has made today possible. And Lisa Brodeur, Lisa actually left Florida 2 days early to drive back here to make sure that she was able to be with us to honor Kyle this morning, and she actually has gifted a copy of the book that she wrote with Kyle, If I Can Smile, I Can Live, and we're going to give a copy of this book to all of the honorees today. Now I'd like to introduce Mike DiDonato.
I'm just going to read to you the eulogy. Eulogy for Kyle. People who didn't really know Kyle would often ask me, does he know what's going on? My response would be, boy, does he ever. I have always said, Kyle's mind and spirit is as sharp as a tack, and his body is as tough as nails. I would also tell people, don't let the wheelchair fool you. I'd like to share a story with you. Several years ago, Kyle came up with a bucket list. And one of the wishes on his bucket list was to become an Ironman. When he told me this, I became very nervous. You see, a full Ironman consists of 2.4-mile swim, a 112-mile bicycle ride, and a 26.2-mile run for a total of 140.6 miles. So I put my negotiating skills to use, and I counter-offered his full Ironman with a half Ironman. Thank goodness he agreed. Now, a half Ironman is no joke. A half Ironman consists of a 1.2-mile swim, a 56-mile bicycle ride, and a 13.1-mile run for a total of 70.3 miles. We reached out to Ironman organization, which only allows one wheelchair duo team per event. They wouldn't allow us to compete in Ironman unless we finished an Olympic distance triathlon first. So we signed up for the Middleborough Triathlon in July of 2018. The Olympic distance consisted of a 1-mile swim, a 24-mile bicycle ride, and a 6-mile run for a total of 31 miles. We finished the race and it was a success. The Ironman organization accepted us into Ironman 70.3 Atlantic City on September 23rd in 2018. It was a cold and rainy day. Kyle and I have never experienced such terrible weather while racing. Kyle was cold and shivering, and I was questioning whether I could finish. We were moving forward on the bike during the race, but we weren't fast enough for Ironman. The officials stopped us at mile 52 on the bike course and told us we didn't make the cutoff time. My spirit was broken. I apologized to Kyle for not being fast enough. He looked at me, put his thumb up with his big smile on his face, and he said, "Let's find another race." Fast forward to June 9th, 2019, Ironman 70.3 Eagleman in Maryland. Kyle dedicated this race to his father, Michael David Brodeur. At the start of the race, it was cloudy and windy. At mile 3 on the bike, it started to downpour like nothing we had ever experienced while racing, much worse than the previous race. Mile after mile, the rain was relentless. Kyle could always tell when I was struggling because he could see and feel my performance as I pulled him behind me on the bicycle. At around mile 40, my will started to diminish and our pace started to slow down. Kyle immediately began to motivate me, just like a coach motivating his athlete. Kyle started chanting his father's name. Michael David Brodeur, over and over again. Michael David Brodeur, Michael David Brodeur. This lit a fire under me like I'd never felt before, and we completed the race in 7 hours. Thank you. By the way, that photo, that cutout that's out there is the finish line of that race. The reason why I'm telling you this story is so you can understand that the driving force and the power behind Team Unstoppable has always been Kyle Brodeur. He was the epitome of what it means to be a man of love, integrity, and perseverance. He never felt sorry for himself. He always put others first, and he never gave up. He was a warrior, and he was truly unstoppable. And I like to say, in honor of him, as we build the chairs, and it's interesting, I have many memories of this chair, the original chair, the signature series chair that we call it, that we made for Rick. And with the input of Rick and Dick, we came up with a wonderful design. But I must say, since I started pushing Kyle in these races, I was able to feel what it's like to actually push a chair, and it helped us develop a little bit better every time. But the biggest part of the reason why this design chair that you see on my left exists is because of the feedback from Kyle. He was very honest with me, brutally honest with me. And because of that honesty, it's helped us create this design that probably isn't built for everybody, but it's probably built now for most bodies. And that was always our goal. And in honor of him, we've created these little stickers, really small and subtle, and they're gonna go on every chair that goes out. It's got Kyle's thumbs up, and he always said, giving up is not an option. And we're going to start sticking these on every chair that goes out. And we just sent one to the UK, and I'm really proud of that. And thank you for being here, and thank you for having us last year. Kyle and I we really treasure. I have the award that I got. It faces me every day at work, and it inspires me. And Kyle had it in his bedroom near his bed. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Mike, thank you so much. Honestly, just hearing your words, I can speak for the rest of the room. You had me speaking about the eulogy that you gave and also just the kind words for everything that Kyle has brought to this community, and I know that we all feel that. So thank you so much. And Lisa, thank you so much for being here today. Obviously, the effort to come. I would like next to introduce Vizzy Tilak, co-chair of the WISE Leadership Cabinet, and of course, Rick McPherson, president and CEO of the MetroWest YMCA.
Thank you, Mike, for sharing your incredible story with all of us. It's hard to believe just a year ago we were all here together. And Lisa, making that trip from Florida this morning to be with us, it means just the world to us. And so, we're all here with you and for you. And, we know Kyle's in spirit with us here today. Thank you so much. Okay, now on to some other business. The MetroWest YMCA has been serving this community for 65 consecutive years. With the growth of the region, it has been clear for the past 20 years that the facility in Framingham was not sufficient to serve the entire 8-town service area. Building a new full-service YMCA is no small task, though. My friend Dave McGilvery has written 3 children's books so far that I believe hold the key to accomplishing bold and important things that seem sometimes daunting. The first book is titled Dream Big. Dave, I've used this to death, and I'm going to continue to steal your inspiration around Dream Big. That's what all of you in this room has asked the team of volunteers and the staff to do when creating the plans to build the Team Hoyt Community YMCA, Dream Big. This event has marked a number of milestones for our project. While Vizzy will share an update on our fundraising, I'd like to give you a glimpse behind the curtain as to the vision for the Team Hoyt Community YMCA and the shape it's continuing to make. So let's take a quick look at this amazing little video.
The Hoyt family showed us the true meaning of perseverance and the power of providing opportunities for all. We are on a mission to create something iconic, a transformational space in the heart of the MetroWest region. The Team Hoyt Community YMCA will be a beacon of inspiration and inclusion, a state-of-the-art facility, pool, gym, wellness center, an early learning center, accessible trails. It will serve as a gathering place, a support network, and a resource for generations to come. People of all ages and backgrounds can find wellness, friendship, and purpose. We know we can accomplish more together. Now is the time to take action and get involved. Help us secure the funds needed to get this YMCA across the finish line. Join us in building a place where neighbors connect and lives transform. The Team Hoyt Community YMCA, where community happens.
Run Across America symbolizes getting up and doing the work, regardless of the obstacles, day in and day out. I can tell you firsthand, that is what our project team from the YMCA, Scalora Consulting, CBT Architects, Rubicon Construction, Bowler, RWS, Geotechnical Engineers, ADI, and Grow Development have been doing for the past year plus. I have one more book. Dave's third book is titled Finish Strong. You can all see it on your table. When running a marathon, it means crossing the finish line with your head held high, accomplishing what you set out to do. For the Team Hoyt Community YMCA, Finishing Strong is going to be all about raising the necessary funds from the community to get the project over the finish line to the ribbon cutting. We know this project can only happen through the generosity of individuals, businesses, foundations, and public support. I know we can do this. We're so close. The chair of our leadership cabinet, Vizzy Tilak, is here to share an update.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, everybody, for being here this morning. It's an honor to share this update with you. My leadership cabinet co-chair, Tom Caron, sends along his regrets for not being with us this morning. Unfortunately, he had to be with the Red Sox at spring training in Fort Myers, Florida, where the temperature is 85 degrees. Tom says often that it's tough work, but somebody's got to do it. Kidding aside, our leadership cabinet is comprised of a fantastic group of volunteers representing Ashland, Hopkinton, Holliston, Sherburne, and Framingham. Their names are on the screen. They continue to focus on leadership-level gifts that we will need to secure before we can officially break ground on this project. That said, much has been accomplished. Excuse me. With the support of the town of Ashland, 12.5 acres of land was donated for the Team Hoyt Community YMCA to be built on Memorial Drive in Ashland at the 5K mark of the Boston Marathon. Shortly thereafter, MathWorks kicked off the capital campaign by donating a transformational lead gift. Last year, Senator Warren, Senator Markey, Congressman McGovern advocated for the Y, resulting in a significant federal earmark. And last fall, the TJX Foundation announced their leadership pledge for the new Y. A big, big thank you to Doug Bizzie, who's a senior executive vice president of TJX, who is here with us today, and the entire TJX team. This incredible support has given the YMCA Board of Directors the confidence to keep this project moving forward with the goal of breaking ground in 2025. This morning, I would like to acknowledge 3 additional leadership gifts. I would like to start by thanking Needham Bank and ask them to please stand. Needham Bank was introduced to this project during the early stages of the feasibility study. The team at Needham Bank embraced the vision for a new Y, which led to a leadership gift from their newly formed foundation. We are very grateful to Needham Bank's commitment to the creation of the future YMCA. A special thanks to Karen, Michael, Denise, Jess, and their entire team who are with us this morning. Second, would the folks from Middlesex Savings Bank stand up, please? I would like to thank Donna, Penny, Mike, and the entire Middlesex team for their generous capital campaign donation and their ongoing commitment to helping kids and families that count on the Y. Bank President Dana Nesh has not only been a champion for the Y at her bank, but is also a member of our leadership cabinet, working hard to engage others in the community who are able to help with the early phase of the campaign. Finally, I would like to thank Senate President Karen Spilka and ask her to please stand. The Senate President's support has been unwavering, and she has been a true advocate for the YMCA. When this new project becomes a reality, it will be in no small part because she is by our side. Thanks to Senator Spilka and members of our MetroWest legislative delegation, this month we received the first installment of an impactful $500,000 state earmark directed towards this project. give another round of applause for the collective support of these three amazing community partners. Their investment speaks volumes about the power of public-private partnerships and the impact this facility will have on tens of thousands of children and families for decades to come. In total, our campaign is now approaching $11 million in pledge support. But to be successful, we are going to need to keep the momentum going and finish strong so that we can get the next 10 million, or should we say 15 million, Rick, raised to get this project over the finish line. For that to happen, it will take all of us working together to do our part and to invite and involve others to the table. We remind ourselves often that no one said this was going to be easy, but I am confident that working together, we will make this happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vizzy, and thank you, of course, to Rick for that exciting update about the Team Hoyt Community YMCA. I like the sound of that, by the way. I'm sure you all do. As we continue to celebrate the impact of our Y, please direct your attention to the screens where we will welcome Y board members and previous Y Marathon team members, Usha Narayana and Rick Robinson.
The important part of the Y for me was, it started me on my fitness journey. When I was in college, I was overweight, borderline obese, and really looking for a place for me to go and exercise, do some cardio, take some classes, do some swimming, shoot some hoops. And the MetroWest Y was the ideal place for me to do that. I've lost nearly 100 pounds to this point, and I really built some friendships there. So I feel better about myself, not just the number, but just feeling healthier overall, feeling like I have control over my life, and just feeling overall happier. Definitely felt like the natural fit for me in terms of being part of that YMCA community and starting to hand that down to my children. During the summer, we do attend the summer camp in Hopkinton as well. There are a lot of simple life skills that you don't really learn staying home all day or staying on your iPad all day. In my opinion, it's perfect for kids living that physical life.
The Y is beyond just a gym. You have to think of it much broader than a gym. It's a family. It's creating an environment for everybody, from senior citizens to young kids, to providing childcare services to people who may not be able to afford childcare, to being able to help teens who might be struggling with emotional or educational needs and need some support. The Y is there for them. A lot of what the Y does that resonates closely with me is they use food as an educational mechanism, teaching healthy eating habits and sustaining those eating habits through a very cultural educational program. I had the opportunity to do an Indian cooking class with the Y, and it was probably one of the most phenomenal experiences I have ever had. The food distribution program is just amazing. The Y has provided over 800,000 meals to kids and families that are facing food insecurity, which is something that they should never have to face. Without your support, without your contributions, without your help, we can't do everything that we just talked about.
Rick and I are really honored to be here with you this morning. Today, we get a chance to shine a light on all the work that's happening every day at the YMCA. In the video, we mentioned that we've provided 800,000 meals to date. That number is now 1 million meals. That is a number we're both very proud of, but it's also quite heartbreaking. No one should have to face food insecurity.
Meanwhile, our work continues, helping people of all ages achieve their personal health goals while providing critical prevention and intervention programs for chronic illnesses. We're also supporting families by providing before and after school care, summer camps, and childcare for thousands of children These programs make it possible for parents and caregivers to work while addressing the mental health challenges so many families face. So, what can you do?
Well, that's a great question, Rick. You all can get involved. Donate, volunteer, advocate. We are better together, and we need each and every single one of you to get involved. We have the opportunity this morning to support this work and ensure that we can be there for the kids and families that need us the most. We ask each of you to consider making a contribution, a pledge this morning. Your contribution will directly impact our ability to continue these vital programs and be there for the families and kids that need us the most. For those of you who've already made a gift, thank you so much. And for those of you who have not, guess what? You can do that today. Right around your necks on this beautiful chain that you have, inside you will find a pledge form. If you pull that out, you can very easily make a pledge this morning, or at the very bottom, there's a checkbox to volunteer. Please consider making a donation.
Every gift at every level makes a difference in the lives of children and families in our community. If you look at the screen, you'll see examples of how your support directly impacts our programs. There are also QR codes on the tables here, so scan them to Venmo, or make an online support donation. Thank you for your generosity and making a difference today.
And last but not least, while we're grateful for everyone's support, we definitely want to give a loud and proud shout out to the Boston Marathon runners that are here with us today. We've got some of them sitting at the table, I think, on this side of the room. So far, this group has already raised over $80,000. They've had to continuously reach out to their friends, family, coworkers of their network to support the Y. And in addition to running hundreds of hours to date in a very cold winter, might I add, this is probably one of the colder winters. They have not lucked out as gracious as Rick and I have in the past. They're on track to raise almost an average of, actually over an average of $10,000 per runner this year. So congratulations to all the work to date, and good luck.
And tomorrow, their long run is up to 19 miles. So Usha and I we've gone through that journey, and we've done the fundraising as well. And both running a marathon and fundraising are require incredible dedication. And we appreciate everything you all do. Just know we're with you, cheering with you every step of the way. You've got this. Thank you all for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you, Usha, and thank you, Rick. I love how you both smile with your eyes, by the way. I'm sure the room can see that. It's really something. It's inspiring, and thank you. Thanks for your generosity, your commitment to the MetroWest Y. And as we pivot to our celebration of the marathon, it is my pleasure to introduce the president and CEO of the Boston Athletic Association. We are in partnership with these guys at WCVB, the one and only Jack Fleming.
Thanks for having me. Welcome, everybody. What a fantastic start to the spring season here. We at the Boston Athletic Association appreciate the opportunity to say thank you for this exhibition of pride in our event. Yes, our event. Patricia, Rick, and the entire staff and board of the MetroWest YMCA, this breakfast has become really a tradition that I wish so many more people would be able to see, and you could probably fill 4 of these ballrooms, and I hope that is the case on your way to your capital campaign goal. And to the Boston Athletic Association staff, board, and members representing us here, especially Nicole, Peter, and Scott, thank you for the work that you do and are doing 24/7 in our mission to promote a healthy and active lifestyle through running. Truly mean that. Thank you. And to our 2 prior race directors who are here, from our long history, Tim and Dave, who are still so involved in all that we do. You'll hear from them in just a couple of minutes. This is a gathering of community servants. Thank you for giving back, and to the police who are here, who allow us to do what we do safely and confidently. But really, thanks to all of you for personifying passion and persistence. To the MetroWest YMCA team, thank you to recognize accomplishments, achievements, milestones, people, and communities. That's the takeaway for me from this breakfast, that truly is all about community. Thank you for inspiring us, for continuing to inspire us today. 129th Boston Marathon presented by Bank of America, the 250th anniversary of Patriots Day, 50-year anniversary of two iconic champions in Bob Hall, you can think of that pioneering effort in the wheelchair, and Bill Rogers in 1975, the first of his 4 Boston Marathon victories. But here are the really big numbers. We're on our way to raising $45 million, or more than $45 million this year for nonprofits in the local area. Since 1989, the Boston Athletic Association official charity program has raised more than $500 million. We're very proud of that. Another $500 million goes into the economic impact statewide we just finished that study. It was much higher than we anticipated. We hadn't done a study in a while. So $500 million is what the Boston Marathon presented by Bank of America generates statewide. We have 30,000 athletes this year, 9,500 volunteers, 120 countries represented, and the success of our race and our own fundraising team has led to $500,000 in grants over the last only 2.5 years that we've been doing this. And these go towards community programs, many to give them an idea that they have to get them started. In addition, we just made, maybe you read about it, our largest ever gift to the Reggie Lewis Track and Athletic Center at the Roxbury Community College for what else? Community programming. So we look forward to April 21st with all of you. Yes, pride, persistence, passion. Congratulations to the YMCA's growth, bold new work, and the familiar spaces that you've always provided. And of course, good luck to those of you who are running this year, especially those who are running on the MetroWest YMCA Marathon team and in your fundraising goals. You are making a difference. We'll see you down the road.
Jack, thanks so much. Great talking to you this morning, by the way, before this. You know, when you start one of these programs, there's like 12 people you need to talk to, but sometimes you get sort of, I don't want to call it stuck, but you get speaking with one person. This morning for me, that was Jack. So we were able to kind of catch up on my trip to Utah and some of the runners, and it's always a pleasure to catch up. So thank you. And thank you for overseeing this event, this world-class event. The next person I want to introduce, another milestone for our next presenter he's accomplished in his many. To add to his impressive and inspirational accomplishment, I believe today marks a day you're going to run 3.5 miles every day for 1,460 days. I guess the question is, did you run yet this morning? You did. All right. So everyone knows what time you woke up this morning. I'm not sure what time Dave McGilvery woke up this morning. 4 consecutive years running without a break. Following heart surgery. We know this guy does a whole lot of everything. Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to accomplishing big dreams, this man didn't just set the pace, he sets the standard. A leader, a legend, a force of nature in the running community. Please join me in welcoming the one and only Dave McGilvery, my guy, as he presents this year's Inspiration Award.
Thank you, Josh. First of all, when Rick said he lost over 100 pounds, I was like, holy cow, that's a whole me. You lost me. That's amazing. So who in this room is running the marathon next month? Raise your hand. Look how many people are running. Wow. So, you know, it's 26.2 miles, right? Might want to rethink this. It's a holiday. You could take the day off. But congratulations to the commitment you made to running the Boston Marathon. So just want to say good morning. We talked this morning about reaching new heights, helping kids soar, and defying gravity. I thought it would be fun to hear from a friend of mine who is literally defining gravity.
Greetings from the International Space Station to everyone at the Y Marathon Community Breakfast, including my friend Dave McGilvery. Thanks to Dave, I was able to run the Boston Marathon up here on the International Space Station. I look forward to being home and joining you in person at a future Marathon Community Breakfast to accept the MetroWest YMCA Inspirational Award. I would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to this year's honorees, Tim Kilduff and a Team Hoyt duo, Brendan and Jacob. Thanks to the Y and all of you for helping so many area kids dream big and encourage them to defy gravity and reach for the stars. Have a great time.
So let's all say a prayer that tonight at 7:03, that son of a gun spaceship takes off and can bring her back home. It's funny, we email each other a lot, and she actually calls me a lot. And I emailed her yesterday, and I said, "You looking forward to coming home?" She's like, "Well, I'm not too sure. I want to come back to Earth, given everything going on." Just kidding, just kidding. I'm going to Cape Canaveral right after this, and I'm going up there to replace her. So we look forward to having Sunny here in person next year as she receives the 2026 Inspirational Award. She mentioned who we are honoring this year, and for Tim, Brendan, and Jacob, it's pretty cool to be recognized by someone 248 miles above the Earth, circling and traveling 17,500 miles an hour. Pretty amazing stuff going on up there. So before I begin, I just want to acknowledge a couple of people. One is Josh over there. You know, you come here, you do this, you give up your time, you're special. And Josh has run in my Run Medford event, Celebrity Mile, and last year he shows up early. Then I went looking for him. I said, "Where the hell is Josh?" And he's in the registration tent, volunteering, registering people. That's the kind of guy he is. So round of applause for Josh for doing this for all of us. And of course, Peter and Rick, you know, I consider myself more of a logistic operation guy, but I met my match. These guys have set the standard in how to organize events and what they have organized here, and they continue to do on a day-to-day basis at the Y. So just thank you to Peter and Rick and their staff for putting this together, but just being the people they are to help so many people in this MetroWest area. Peter and Rick. The Inspiration Award is presented to individuals who, through their amazing physical achievements, philanthropic work, and contributions to the community, inspire thousands of people through their exceptional gifts of time and talent. Rick and Dick Hoyt got me involved with the MetroWest YMCA many years ago, and one of the things I really enjoyed doing with them both was helping to select the honoree for the YMCA Inspirational Award each year. I'm sure they are smiling down on us today, this morning, knowing that now the tradition continues with Russ Hoyt and Becca Peasy. I would like to have Russ and Becca and Rick join me on the stage here for this year's presentation. You got your notes? Okay, to get things started, Russ and I are going to tag team to present the first inspirational award to our good friend, Tim Kilduff. Tim, please join us up on the stage here.
If I'm going to honor Tim, I need a second to get ready. Sorry, Tim's just such a sharp dresser, I couldn't get shown up today, so. Dave and I are proud to share that we will be honoring Tim Kilduff with the Inspiration Award. Now, when Tim comes up here to say his piece, he's going to say something like, "This is appreciated but not needed," or "I don't deserve this." Tim, you deserve what Dave and I are about to do. Hey, Dave. Do you know who has had the honor of being the race director of the Boston Marathon?
Well, Will Clooney, Guy Morse, and me. What? Oh, yeah, and Tim. I photoshopped Will Clooney into that picture.
Well, Dave, pretty good company there. Did you know that about 20 years ago, the Hoyt family was experiencing some financial difficulties, and the van that Dad and Rick drove to the Hopkinton Marathon actually died right there in Hopkinton? And Dave, Tim came along to save the day. He actually spearheaded an effort that raised over $87,000 to replace our van.
First of all, $87,000 for a darn van.
Yeah.
What's in that thing?
A lift.
A lift. There it is. Wow, Russ, that's pretty impressive. Did you know that Tim also created the Spotters Network, that he was the voice on the men's lead truck for 30 years back when another station was the media partner?
Wow, that is pretty impressive. Did you know that he was also part of the group that created a tradition of presenting the Boston Athletic Association with the olive branch wreaths that crown the 4 first-place winners of the Boston Marathon?
Incredible. But did you know that Tim played a key role in the creation and installation in Hopkinton of sculptures that honor marathon greats like Team Hoyt? In fact, maybe the next sculpture could be one of Tim. Susan, we got to start the fundraising today.
Dave, that's absolutely amazing. Did you know that Tim hates potatoes?
That's pretty bad. You hate potatoes? Well, he may hate potatoes, but did you know he has an eclectic love of music? He was a trumpet player in high school. Well, there's a visual. Loves Neil Diamond, Cher, Celine Dion, and currently Mary Chapin Carpenter. He took his daughters to their first concert, Huey Lewis and the News, Julian Lennon and Madonna, and took his grandson to see Big Time Rush. I have no idea who Big Time Rush is. His daughter even shared remembering long car rides when they were kids where he sang his heart out even if he didn't know the words. That's not good. And he actually still does that. As a matter of fact, I happen to have Tim's trumpet, well, I don't, that he played in high school. Maybe he'll play a few notes when he accepts his award.
In addition to his musical talents, did you know that his family has many nicknames for Tim? They call him, including Dad, Pa, Irish, Little Timmy, and the family's absolute favorite, Tim Kilduff, small town celebrity.
By the way, of all the race directors of the Boston Marathon, Tim, only you and I have run in the Boston Marathon. Yeah, but what was your time? No, you want to leave that out? Yeah, okay. I once ran 2:15. Yep. But then I really slowed down for the second half. All right. Let's see where we are. So, Russ, did you know that Tim has been mistaken for politicians like George W. Bush, oh, get this one, and Bernie Sanders?
I can see that. Did you know that small-town celebrity Tim saved his daughter Christy's wedding? Now, as I was told this story way back in 1999, Christy and her fiancé Brian were living in Arizona and they were going to get married in Hopkinton. Christy flew home a week early, but Brian didn't fly out until 3 days before the wedding. Once Brian arrived, they went to Hopkinton Town Hall and they were told they needed to get their marriage license 2 weeks prior to the wedding. Since they lived out of state, they didn't know this. The only way to get a marriage license was to have a judge sign a waiver, so the young couple were sent to the county courthouse in Framingham. Once in Framingham, they met with the court clerk who scheduled the judges. Christy and Brian explained to her what they needed, and she told them it would not be possible because all of the judges were too busy and booked out for the day. She took the paperwork, the clerk took the paperwork, and the anxious couple was told to sit down, wait a few minutes, but she told them it didn't look good. Panic set in. After a few minutes, the clerk read the paperwork and she said, "Christy Kilduff of the Hopkinton Kilduffs?" Christy was thinking to herself, "The Hopkinton Kilduffs? There's 5 of us." The clerk asked, "Do you know Tim?" And Christy says, "Yes, he's my dad." No sooner did the words come out of Christy's mouth than the clerk exclaimed, "Oh my gosh, we love Tim around here. Hold on just 1 minute." She picked up the phone. The next thing they knew, the newlyweds were ushered right into a judge's office. He signed the waiver, wedding saved.
That is truly Tim, but did you know Tim brought the marathon flame to Hopkinton and was the catalyst creating the spirit of the marathon flame that stands outside of the Hopkinton police station? Yeah.
Wow, Dave, that is hot. Did you know that Tim also created the Desire to Inspire program? In April, at the Elmwood School in Hopkinton, 10 to 15 Kenyan marathoners are invited to meet with students to learn about their lives and their country through the Adopt a Marathoner program.
Well, did you know that Tim took his grandchildren to the WWE's WrestleMania?
Well, Dave, I actually did know that. And, you know, it's amazing that it took the 2 of us to take on such an amazing champion of the people, and I think we deserve an award.
Oh, yeah.
We are now the tag team champions of honoring Tim Kilduff.
Did you know he is a founding member of the Hopkinton Marathon Committee?
Inspiring. Did you know that he's the visionary behind the International Marathon Center to be built in Hopkinton and to be designated to be a destination designed to engage multi-generational visitors intellectually, emotionally, and physically. It will feature compelling programs on history, democracy, civics, fitness, nutrition, health, and human potential. And Dave, I love your idea. I'm going to start the campaign to put a statue of Tim out in front of the IMC.
So we could obviously go on and on, but we won't. But this is truly awesome, Russ. And all kidding aside, Tim, did you know that Tim is now the newest recipient of the MetroWest YMCA Inspiration Award? Because he is. And Tim, you are so humble, and you will say you don't deserve it. Well, the Hoyt slogan is, yes, you can. And as far as this award, yes, you do deserve it. Rick, want to come up?
Before I present Tim, or before we present Tim with his Inspiration Award, I need just a minute. I don't use the term friend lightly, but I consider Tim much more than a community partner, but a real friend. Tim is a guy who dreams big, works hard, and knows how to get things done. We get together on occasion at the Spoon in Hopkinton for breakfast to figure out how we can make the world maybe just a little bit of a better place. We share what we're working on. We share challenges and opportunities. Basically, we support each other, even though I would say I get the best of that deal. I'm looking forward to the breakfast, Tim, that we'll have together down the road when we look back and say, bringing an international marathon center to the region for people from around the world to visit and be inspired by, and bringing the Team Hoyt Community YMCA to the region to build community, support kids and families of all abilities for generations to come, was simply a piece of cake. It's going to be a good morning. But the more I think about it, I think I'm going to suggest we have that meeting at Startline Brewer in Hopkinton so I can buy you a beer. Tim, you truly deserve this. Thanks so much for all you do.
Thank you, Paul. Well, good morning. I very much appreciate this. This, however, is very much unnecessary. On the other hand, very, very much appreciated. Kathy and I were reminiscing the other day about the MetroWest Regional YMCA, and we were reminded, like a lot of you, of our connection to the Y. Our three, not kids anymore, Kim and Christy and Ryan all learned how to swim at the Regional YMCA. We took, and Christy and Kim are here this morning, we took full advantage of the outdoor center in the evening. Great place after work, by the way. Quite an asset for the region. And recently, our grandson Cameron, who was a recent graduate at North Carolina State University, just began work at the YMCA in Cary, North Carolina, and Cameron's here with us this morning. So let me talk a little bit about my experience with the Boston Marathon, which is in fact, privilege is an underestimated word. So in 1982, I was invited to become a member of the Boston Athletic Association. In 1982, the Boston Marathon was on the edge of ceasing to exist. It was a pretty sharp, although ethically challenged attorney who was able to get a contract signed to essentially own or take over the Boston Marathon. There was a news reporter named Will McDonough. He's famous in this area. Will McDonough wrote for the Globe, very much liked to break stories. To give you a little perspective on Will, he covered the Patriots, And at one point, Raymond Claiborne, who was a defensive back for the Patriots, bumped into Will or did something, but Will McDonough turned around and decked him, knocked him out. It was Will McDonough who wrote a series of stories about the attorney trying to take over the ownership of the Boston Marathon that broke this story wide open. About $1 million later, the BAA was able to regain the ownership. In 1983 and 84 and 85 were essentially transition years for the marathon. But one of the things that was, Jack mentioned it earlier in his comments, the Boston Athletic Association essentially sort of manages it. They're the stewards of the Boston Marathon. But everyone, the thousands, the tens of thousands of people who have run the race, people who have volunteered, people who have cared about it, it's embedded in the heart and soul of the media in Boston. Everyone feels that they own a little piece. So people like Jack and others just sort of continue to build on that. It's this wide range of ownership. The marathon in 2013 and 14, there were some similar things about it, but the media coverage then was pretty intense. Every major newspaper in eastern Massachusetts had a reporter who covered running. Will McDonough was just one. There were others. The Herald, the Lawrence Eagle Tribune, the Patriot Ledger, the MetroWest Daily News, all had serious reporters covering the sport. The media coverage in terms of race day, channels 4, 5, and 7, all covered the race point to point. So there was tremendous competition between the television stations. That made the Boston Marathon a 12-month-a-year story. So we would slosh through this process of keeping the marathon moving, which, by the way, the group that came together had to deal with. There were no files. There was no playbook, so to speak. This was essentially a volunteer organization at that point. And people came together. If I did anything, and I still wonder how in the world we got into this, but if I did anything, all we did was bring a group of people who were committed to this institution, the Boston Marathon. We brought them together and encouraged them to continue to participate. And that list is very, very long. And they did. They stepped up. So there was sustainability. And we put, the big we, put the marathon in a position that it transitioned into what it is now. And by the way, in my opinion, it's more than mine, there is no other marathon in the world. And I don't care whether New York has got 50, 60, or 80,000 people. There is no other marathon in the world that can take credit for being the most prominent and most important marathon in the world, other than the Olympic marathon. There's none. So it's, in fact, been a privilege to be associated with the Boston Marathon. We forget it. This coming, just in a few weeks, we have marathoners in this room. I only have one bit of advice. Based on your performance, the time you put in, you need to take your time and enjoy every step of this 26.2 miles. One of the most spectacular finishes in the world of marathoning is when runners turn right on Hereford Street and left on Boylston Street. Just think about what that feeling is like. The most exciting marathon finish in the world. There's nothing comparable. So my hope for all of you is that you do enjoy every step of the way. And boy, just suck that in when you're running down Boylston Street. That's like being that's like being a winner of a Super Bowl. There are no individual sports quite like this. It's pretty phenomenal. to the Boston Marathon organizers, if you think about where this race has come from, its foundings go back to 490 BC in the Battle of Marathon, where the concept of democracy was in doubt. Then back to the original modern Olympics, and 1 year later, Boston Marathon. No one can take credit for that. So the thrill for me is to take a moment and reflect on that, and reflect on some of the experiences I have. I'll tell you one quick story about the year after the bombing. I happened to be on the back of the men's lead truck. People take off. Meb Gafleski was obviously someone we were interested in, and you're supposed to be an objective reporter, I guess, if you will. But halfway through that race, one could sense that Meb was going to make a statement, and he started to. So all the media truck, Peter Brown here, who manages that media truck for the BAA, was also observing the television crews, the people in it. We switched from being objective reporters to literally standing on the back of that truck and cheering for Meb to win. Those are the moments that are memorable and, quite frankly, I'll never forget. So again, if I've done anything in support of the marathon, in particularly the Boston Marathon, it was in fact to encourage others to step up. In 1982, when the race was really almost put on the shelf, a group of people came together, all volunteers, and they stepped up. And what you now have is the most prominent marathon of the world. So I appreciate the recognition very much. Don't think I deserve it, but quite frankly, I'm very happy. Thank you very much for being here.
Let's come over this side.
And Josh, by the way, the coverage, Channel 5 and the Boston Marathon is the best in the world. I've never seen anything quite like it. Can I do one more thing?
Uh-oh.
I want to give something back, if you will. So this is a banner that flew in the town of Hopkinton in 2006. And I don't know what can you see the signature on the bottom? I don't know what presented. I don't know why I did this, except Dick Hoyt signed that banner, which flew in Hopkinton at the start of the race in 2006. I'd like you to have it and put it up in your new center.
Okay, to bring the program to a close, I'd like to have Becca Peasy, who will present the second Inspirational Award to the amazing duo of Brendan and Jacob. You know, there's a lot of amazing athletes here in the Boston area, past and present. For me, my most respected athlete has always been Johnny Kelly, and but I just have learned that there's another one now that I totally respect and admire, and she's probably one of the most tenacious athletes and runners I've ever met, and that's Becca Peasy. Becca, come on up.
Thanks so much, Dave. I don't know what I would do without you. Thanks for always being there for me. Huge congratulations to little Timmy. I'm a huge fan of you, you know that. I first met Jacob and Brendan several years ago at the Team Hoyt 5K, and I really wanted to be part of their Little Best Friends Club. So I went up to them and I introduced myself, but then they took off at a 5:15 per mile pace, so I said, I hope they wait for me at the finish line, and they did. Jacob and Brendan were introduced to each other 15 years ago at the Best Buddies program, and that's exactly what they've been, best buddies. Jacob was a groomsman in Brendan's wedding, and they have run over 100 races together, including the time they broke 3 hours in the Martha's Vineyard Marathon, again, blowing by me, waiting for me at the finish line. If you know Brendan, you know he never, ever races without Jacob, which is a true testament to their friendship. Brendan started Unified Health and Performance, an inclusive gym in 2016 that now serves nearly 100 clients with various disabilities. Several years later, he created AdaptX, an educational nonprofit that teaches gyms around the world about inclusion and adaptive fitness. This past fall, he met with the team at the YMCA MetroWest, and within 1 week was writing a grant for the Y and AdaptX to partner. Brendan's passion is making fitness and physical activity accessible and teaching professionals to better understand how to best work with folks with differing abilities, providing a caring, supportive relationship, and working together to reach their goals. When Brendan found out that the new regional Y would be the Team Hoyt Community YMCA, he quickly asked, how can I help? A couple weeks ago, Brendan and Russ met with the project team and shared valuable input helping shape our vision for the important community service and resources. Brendan and Jacob, you truly deserve this YMCA Inspirational Award for the work that you do is so impactful and meaningful. Best of luck to you this Boston Marathon as you join us in representing Team Hoyt in April. And again, don't forget to wait for me at the finish line.
Hi, Jacob, come over.
I'll be quick.
Hi.
It means a lot to me to be introduced by Becca, so I figured I'd direct the spotlight back to her for a minute because I don't particularly want the attention to begin with. But running with Jacob is sacred to me, and I think I'll articulate why throughout my speech, but I have never, as Becca mentioned, nor will I ever run a race without him. I'm also a bit selfish in that I don't think I would ever want anyone else to push Jacob in a race. But I'm a race director myself, and this past spring, I did want him to participate in our event. So I texted Becca, and other than my wife and I, she's the only one who's ever pushed Jacob in a race. So Becca, I think the world of you. So having you introduce us for this award means a lot. Peter, Rick, Russ, and the rest of the team that put this event together, it is an honor for us to be selected to receive this award, especially when I look back at the other people who have been acknowledged. Rick and Dick Hoyt changed my life. Not only the opportunities that they created for duos like Jacob and I, but the example that they set and how they addressed barriers and opposition to inclusion. I strive to be a relentless advocate for people with disabilities in the same way. Now, Jacob, since you're making me do all the talking, I'd like to use this opportunity to share how much you mean to me. I think it also emphasizes the importance of volunteer opportunities that an organization like the Y creates. Over the years, I've received recognition and praise for my work advocating for and including people with disabilities. But what that acknowledgement fails to recognize or appreciate is how much value and purpose the people that my programs and work support have brought to my life. I met Jacob when I was 17 and started working with him when I was 19. He would spend weekends with me and my parents, and then me and my wife, and now me and my wife and our kids. The kids that I had the privilege to work with, Jacob especially, provided so much value and direction to my life, especially through some of the harder patches of adolescence. The debt of gratitude that I owe my athletes, and Jacob especially, is one that my work or running will never be able to repay. 5 years ago, I submitted the idea for an educational company that Becca referenced, AdaptX, that would teach fitness professionals and facility owners about inclusion, accessibility, and adaptive fitness into a business competition, and the concept made it to the finals called Arc Tank, where in my 5-minute presentation, I discussed how I wanted to work with YMCAs because of our synergistic missions of fostering inclusion, acceptance, and belonging. My goal has always been for inclusion to become the expectation, not the exception. I think YMCAs have the opportunity to set the standard throughout the health and fitness industry, and it is a pleasure to be a part of that pursuit. Since my presentation at the Arc Tank, I've worked with YMCAs around the country and fitness professionals around the world, have published papers through the Rick Hoyt Research Lab, which my gym operates, and have organized a nationwide inclusive road race series to give people with disabilities the opportunity to compete and be a part of their community. Now I get the privilege of being at the intersection of all of these organizations that mean so much to me with the development of the Hoyt Community YMCA. Peter and Rick recently allowed me and Russ to join in on a meeting with their architects to discuss how this new YMCA can set the precedent for universal design and inclusion. And this goes beyond just meeting basic physical accessibility standards, but disability is being accounted throughout the entire design process, and inclusion will be a foundational aspect of the business. It will be a privilege to play a small part in creating that culture. I'm grateful for everyone who is here today that is also contributing to this mission. Inclusion cannot be achieved solely by one individual. It requires a commitment throughout the entire community, and I'm certain that the Team Hoyt Community YMCA will be an incredible one. So thank you.
Don't any of you leave, because we are getting some more pictures. Josh, why don't you come on up here and join me to help us close out this amazing morning. I said to Peter Weisgerber, there's no way we're making it by 9:15 this morning, but we did. We moved right along, so I want to thank everybody who was involved this morning, from everyone who spoke, everyone who's here. Just truly what a great way to kick off spring and kind of gear up for the Boston Marathon and our big day. Josh?
Thank you. Just a final goodbye and thank you to everyone for supporting this YMCA and supporting the race. And get out there on April 21st. If you thought you were going to stay inside and not be along the course, think again. I'm going to be right in front of those lead men coming flying. But a lot of the runners, sorry, I might not see you finish, but I know you will. And you're going to do great. So on behalf of all of us, thank you very much.
Quick one last shout out to Kim Kilduff from 26.2 Foundation, who showed up here last night early this morning and helped make this room look beautiful with a lot of the extra, the winged feet and the beautiful images coming in. Thank you, Kim. Awesome. Also a big thank you to Steve, Paul, Jenny, and David O'Leary, who did the voiceover for our video today. It came out beautiful. Thank you all so much. Have a great day, everybody. Enjoy. And those of you that came in the grand entrance, would love you to join us up on stage so we can get a group photo. Thanks again. Good night. Good morning. And I'll see you later.